Honor and shame is something that is not static. It flows from one to another. Okay, you can receive honor. You can give honor. You can bring shame. You can bring either to yourself or to others, okay? Here it has to do with the adherence to what is right or to a covenantal standard of conduct. I'm changing the wording from conventional because conventional means that society gets to determine, which is why we think that there's no shame today. That's not true. Just whatever people think is shameful is stuff that, we would not necessarily think is well, let me rephrase that. The things that people think is not shameful, we would think is shameful. And to finally get to what they think was shameful, well, man, there were lots of levels before that we think would have been shameful before we got there. Okay, the bar has moved quite a bit. By the way, when we looked at honor, does that sound like something you would desire? Can you see why we should seek after? But how do we seek after? We're not seeking after by saying, hey, look at me, look at me. No, we seek after it by doing the things I listed, which in doing so would motivate appropriately the person who's higher up to want to bestow honor upon you. And that's when you hear something like, well done, you good and trustworthy servant. You're not going to feel ashamed if you don't think you did anything wrong. You're not going to have any sense of shame if you don't think you did anything wrong. Now, in the societal honor and shame type of societies, it wouldn't matter what you thought or not. You would be labeled in a way that people would know you had shame. By the way, this is the point of the whole way that Yeshua was killed. The crucifying thing was meant to be the most shameful way to be killed. This is why mainstream Christianity is just really in a really horrible place, really, in some ways, because the thing that brought all the shame was the sin. Yeshua died so he could take on the shame. He didn't die so he could take away the law. He's taking away the shame for your inability to submit to it. And so now they're telling everybody, go continue to act shameful, because after all, we don't understand anything about what he really did, is what they're really saying. Okay, after all, we really don't get it. Doing the mechanics doesn't merit any favor. That goes really to, if you ever wondered about the verse, and maybe I never explained this before, the verse that says, when you're a servant, you go, I did all these things you told me to do, and the master says, that's great, you're useless, because you only did what I told you to do. I think the missing piece there is what merits the favor is that you didn't do it with that fullness of the intent, with belief, with love and joy and the fruit of the Spirit. You did it in a wrong way. You did it mechanically. By the way, there's a big deal in this society, and we read about it in the Gospels, this honor-shame thing where the students of Yochanan HaMatbil, Yochanan the Immerser, are really not happy that Yeshua is getting more honor and esteem than John. And John has to scold them and say, no, I'm not even worthy to unloose his sandals. You don't get it. Because they understood their relationship with John. They saw him as a prophet. They saw him as the high priest. They had him in a very high level of honor, of esteem. And then Yeshua shows up. They don't know Yeshua from anybody. Moses gave us the Torah, which is one dimension of transformative understanding. Okay, think of that for a second. He gave us the Torah, which is a one, I'm simplifying this beyond simplifying, okay? One dimension of transformative understanding. Yeshua gives us two dimensions of transformative understanding. Okay? Truth, which is the Torah, the way to merit favor, the Father's favor, as it was fully intended to be understood and observed. That's the Moses part. But then he gave us the meriting favor, which is understanding that life's purpose is to merit the Father's favor. That's the second dimension. All of what we're doing is all about trying to become the type of person that the creator of the universe would want to spend eternity with. Are we becoming the type of person he wants to live forever with? And I've told you that I believe Scripture teaches us that in its simplicity, it requires two elements: Torah observance and the fruit of the Spirit. this is the beginning of the signs. He said that he did, and it manifested his honor. But not just manifested his honor, but we're reading the story. We can see it also, he bestowed honor on his mother, and then it brought honor back on him. Very cool story. Okay, very, very cool story that we see here.